For more on tomorrow's court case, my colleague Thules Simelane joins us now from Pietermaritzburg. Thules, I'm sure you are expecting a lot from tomorrow's proceedings. But if you look at it realistically, the legal process comes all the way from 2003, even though the charges were only laid again in 2018. Can we really expect much progress in terms of the legal matters tomorrow?
Well, not much in terms of the substantive matters, Anli. Not much will happen tomorrow in terms of the substantive matters and getting into the meat of it, as it were, in as far as these allegations are concerned and this case and this indictment is concerned. But there will be activity and there will be action, and you can expect a few fireworks here and there, certainly around the issue of the pre-trial phase of this particular case and when exactly both sides will be ready to proceed with a trial. Our understanding is that at the heart of it will be the state's application for certain directives to be given by this court about how and when to proceed with the trial and whether or not the state is ready. The preference of the state, the National Prosecuting Authority led by Advocate Billy Downer, is for this case to actually go on trial in the first half of next year. Mr. Zuma and his legal representatives, we expect, will be adamant that actually the case should proceed at the latest in October this year and actually set the matter in motion. But there'll be a whole lot of other issues, including only the state's attempt now to slightly amend the indictment. They want to add a few details that they believe will be key in terms of their prosecution of this particular matter. What Mr. Zuma's defense makes of that will be another interesting bone of contention. Then there's the matter of whether or not the various parties will actually be inside court tomorrow. Our understanding is Mr. Zuma doesn't necessarily have to be inside court tomorrow for this pre-trial phase, but maybe there. At this particular point, no real indication either way. But that will be an issue of we are working under these conditions of COVID-19 and the lockdown and changed rules in terms of access to the courts, open court processes being affected by that. What does it mean for the trials, criminal trials proceeding at this particular point? So in a nutshell, those are some of the main key points that we expect will be there, will be addressed tomorrow.
On that last point, we know that there are always a lot of crowds around former President Zuma. He attracts a lot of attention both from the public and the media. We have been forewarned by the courts that there will be limited number of seats available for both the public and the media. Do you expect people to start queuing early tomorrow morning to be part of tomorrow's proceedings?
Not at all, Anli. In fact, there's not been much by way of mobilization. The usual mobilization that you would see in on previous occasions when former President Jacob Zuma would be appearing here is not happening. So such activities as the night vigils that would be taking place at a distance somewhere. In fact, it even rewinds for me and takes me back all those years ago when I was a cub journalist and I wasn't as grey as I am now, Anli. Just across the road from here, from where we are standing, there's an open space. That's where some of these night vigils would be held in preparation for his appearance. It's unlikely that there'll be much by way of organized crowds coming through. Of course, we are in the smack bang in the heart of the city of Pietermaritzburg, and you do get spectator value whenever there is activity around this particular court. But those stringent regulations around gatherings, certainly one does expect that will lead to not many people coming through. And then you come to the issue of how much has shifted politically, because this is, as we were saying with Siphamandla Goke, the intersection of politics and law, because much has changed by way of the balance of power and how much sway former President Zuma still has, and you know, he still has his supporters within the ANC and in other structures as well. But it certainly is not comparable to the days I was describing when I was a 25-year-old.
Right, well, that is where we're going to have to leave it. Thank you very much, Thulasizwe Simelane, coming to us from Pietermaritzburg, where former President Jacob Zuma is expected to stand trial tomorrow. That first court appearance, though he is not likely or guaranteed to be there in the flesh himself.